Luke 1:32. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord God shall give him unto the throne of his father David. I'll open it. No. You pull it. You do it. You can't touch it. Look. Little Critter Bedtime Storybook. Oh my goodness. Let's find a story to read. Fussy Princess. I can't sleep without my bear, complained little sister. I left it downstairs. Little Critter yawned. So go and get it. I'm scared to go downstairs alone. Little Critter sighed and went to his little sister's bear to get his little sister's bear. He got back into bed. This is my brown bear, little sister frowned. I sleep with the pink one. Okay, said little Critter. If I get the pink one, will you go to sleep? Yes. This time little Critter brought the pink bear. He got on into the bed one more time. I think my fuzzy blanket is downstairs too, said little sister. Why didn't you tell me that before? I didn't think of it, said little sister. You don't need all that stuff in your bed to sleep. Little Critter said, you are too fussy. What does fussy mean? Said little sister. I'll tell you a story about a fussy princess, and then you'll know, answered little Critter. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a fussy princess who couldn't sleep unless everything was just right. She had to have her favorite blanket and all her dolls on her bed. You're telling me a story about me. I don't like stories about me, said little sister. Are you a princess who lived a long, long time ago? Asked little Critter. Well, no, admitted little sister. Well, then the story is not about you, little Critter went on. The princess had everything just so right at night, and she was no picnic during the day either. All her dresses had to be perfectly pressed. If they had even the slightest wrinkle, she threw it a fit. One day, a big dragon who lived in the mountains flew down in the castle. He had heard that the fussy princess and how servants took care of her. It sounded like a good deal to him, and he liked the castle when he saw it. So he decided to move in. The first thing he did was throw out the king and his family. The royal family spent the night in the barn. The princess had to sleep with the cows, donkeys, sheep, and chickens. Needless to say, she didn't sleep a wink. When the farmers found the family the next morning, he threw them out for trespassing. That night, they had to sleep under a tree. I bet it rained, little sister chimed in. That's right, little Critter nodded. It rained and they got all wet. The princess didn't sleep that night either. By the third night, the princess was a mess. Her gown was torn and dirty, and it was ever wrinkled. Not only had her family been thrown out of the castle, but the dragon had her favorite blanket and her dolls. This was just too much. The princess threw a fit. She screamed until her father promised to go and get her things from the dragon. When I screamed, Daddy makes me go to my room, said little sister. Little Critter continued. Her father went to the castle, pounded on the door, and told the dragon to open up. And that's when the dragon did. He opened up the door and blew his fiery breath at the king. The king ran back to his family under the tree, defeated and slightly scorched. So the princess made up her mind to do something herself. She would sneak into the castle that night, and when everyone was asleep, it was very late when she reached the castle. She crept upstairs to her room and found the dragon sleeping in her bed with her favorite blanket and all her toys. Boy, was she mad. Wasn't she scared? Little sister wondered. Of course, Little Critter said. But she was even more angry than scared. The princess was so angry that she went to the laundry room and got a bucket of soapy water. She threw it right on the sleeping dragon's face. The dragon woke up with a snort and a sputter. Now you're going to get it, the dragon said to the princess. He glared at the princess and showed her his fangs. Now the princess was more scared than angry, said the little critter. She backed away toward the door. The dragon took a deep breath to blow fire at her, but all that came out was soapy bubbles. The princess had put out his fire. What did the dragon do? Said little sister. He cried, said little critter. No one had ever put out his fire before, and he wouldn't if he couldn't be ferocious. He cried and cried. The king and the queen were worried sick when they discovered that their princess was missing. They figured she had gone to the castle, so they ran there as fast as they could. You can only imagine their surprise when they burst and found their daughter comforting a crying dragon. Were they mean to the dragon? Said little sister. No, after he apologized for being so awful, they invited him to stay on as a guest. Anyway, said the little critter, the princess was so happy to be back in the castle, and she decided not to be fussy anymore. She realized that it didn't matter if her favorite blanket wasn't in the right spot, or if the one of her dolls was in the other room. Is that all? Said little sister. That's it. Now go to bed, but I can't sleep without my fuzzy blanket. Didn't you understand the story? Little critter asked. Yes, I did, replied little sister, but I'm not a princess, and there is no dragon in my bed. Little critter groaned. If I get your fuzzy blanket, do you promise to go to sleep? Yes, if you also get me a drink of water on your way back. The end.